block it off. Right. Was this? Well, it is. Looking at my hands like the fucking pinky is like, when you put, you know, like your pinky's got a lot of room here. Not that I feel like it would look any better when they're, like, what are you fucking, an ancient man with their hands all the same. I want to, this does not have long fingers, but I do want there to be some long fingers. Kind of sad because I don't know where in the hell my well, that's wonderful. Make sure you're clean install of Windows. It is not really, maybe it is, but it's not. A bit further down. I did a hand not long ago, did I? The Apple hand was really good. I was really pleased with the way it turned out. Yeah, mine's getting up there in age. Hopefully nothing happens to it. I really will be in trouble then. I don't even have a decent phone to stream from. All mine are basically the same newness. Because I built it at the exact same time. I had a... Yeah, maybe time for your new motherboard. You build it in pieces. That's too far down. And we may not do a hand here because it's, like I said, this doesn't aid itself very well to fast and loose. You know what I'm saying? Where's this hand I'm looking at? It's kind of weird at the base. It was weird to look at hands like this person's hands. Like, that's wild. Let's just have fun here. Let me look at another hand here. That seems kind of odd. Maybe not. Maybe it's just the orientation of the particular hand I'm looking at. Yeah, we're probably going to be changing the subject matter. As much as I'd like to, I don't want to sit here all fucking day trying to fret over one pair of hands. It ain't going to be worth it. I mean, it may be something I take into consideration in the future, so I can really hammer out a better sketch and practice up on something. It's like, it's a cool concept. Not that it's not been done before. Maybe not. Maybe, yeah, it'll be alright. I'm at that stage where, as an artist, you have to take into consideration, you know, is this correct? Like, do I keep pressing forward for a learning experience, you know? Because, like, I don't have to, like, the thing about creativity is in your mind, like, you can beat yourself up. And that's one thing you shouldn't do, is beat yourself up. You shouldn't kind of, and it works even more so in, like, a public platform here where I'm streaming. It don't matter who I'm streaming to, thousands of people or 5 or 10. You know, you working through a process here, and you don't, you know, normally would do this. Like, you know, if you're writing all by yourself, you know, drinking a nice tea, just thinking about life and writing the story, or you're drawing a picture, you're not obligated to make a decision. It's kind of like, you know, some people can't work with people looking over their shoulder, you know. They're like, fuck, you know, they can't handle that kind of stress. I mean, even, you know, big, super well-known artists probably have that same problem. Some probably don't. You gotta get confident in your work. Being confident in your work, though, is like asking a lot, to be fair. Because, like, it to be, you know, honestly, it's quite a fucking wrestling match with yourself to. Because you on one hand, you want to conserve time and product. So you have to tell yourself, am I wasting paper doing something? You know, like, I don't think you're wasting paper at all, to be honest. You could, you know, like, you could argue that, but, like, if you're using, like, paint and stuff like that, don't do that. Paper and all, paper and pencil, you can paint over it, change it up. I've got so many lines here that we're losing the plot. Yeah, be careful, because I need to know what lines are the fingers and what lines are. Because, like, it's looking good. I need to not. I've talked about this before, but, like, I feel like, as an artist, your major strength that you can work on is your forethought. Because if you're shooting from the hip, That's awesome. But you have to be prepared to just keep shooting from the hip, blind. That's why sketchbooks are so important. They help you to, if you have problems shooting from the hip, to be able to, achieve something that you find worthwhile. Otherwise, you're gonna want to give up too soon. You need to see the ending, not the beginning, and know how the middle goes. It's like writing a story. You can write like the first page of your great novel or screenplay, and you may know how the ending works, but you need to know and be able to write properly the flow of the story. And in art, you have to visually be able to look at the pencil marks and go, that's going to get there. We're getting there. Because you'll give up too soon. Don't do it. Don't give up. Never surrender. Yeah, I guess it would be like producing a song, because like you can write some sweet fucking flows, or I don't know the vernacular, but you can write parts of the song that are great, but you need to connect them. You need to know how it's gonna, like, you need to have confidence in the stuff, so that way you don't give up and you find your way to the end. The best you gotta believe. Rapper the Rapper taught me that. And also Resonator. How are you doing? You doing alright? Because I know with this pencil stage it's dirty and nasty and filthy looking, but I know that as soon as we get to the pen and paint stage, I'll start to dial in more distinctive shapes and stuff like that, so it'll be a little bit easier. I am, for the sake of the picture, shrinking the cuffs on the hands. Most of the cuffs, of course, are bigger and bulkier on your hand. If anyone's ever been bound up and, you had your butthole spit in and, just good old traditional sexual values. They taught that in sex ed in high school. Kids, gather around now. It's time to talk about butthole spitting. Oh, gee willikers, that's going to be fucking sweet. Well, hey, I'm glad you decided to, come in here and hang out a second time. I'm really appreciative of the return viewership. I hope I can entertain you in a way that is well pleasing. Them foosballs. How's them ballers doing? What foosball team you watching? I don't follow really any football, but it's no big deal. It's life, you know what I'm saying? Got picky poisons, and I got a lot of poisons. remember when I was in middle school, I even still have it. And what was funny is somebody on my Facebook feed talked about it the other day, and it made me think about it again, was starter jackets. You know, where everybody had the football starter jackets. It was like a thing. And I had Miami Dolphins one, and I still have it. Old Thomas Wayne Brady. Let's make it a little thicker. We can make that a little thicker, I think. Because, like, if we're going to make the... There's no need to have it too thin. And we can put some style on it. It don't have to be fucking perfect. I'm looking at pictures of... I don't know why Fast and Loose just went out the damn window. Let's go ahead and make most of that in shadow here. Tell myself let's do it fast and loose. I almost, like, speaking of the, back to the jacket and the food ball, I almost said to the guys, like, he said he misses his Dolphins starter jacket, and I was like, I've got one. Not that I would, I don't know, I mean, for the right price, I'd probably sell it, let's be fair. But, I mean, they don't sell for, like, a too damn much, to be honest. But, this is definitely more of a traditional looking chain, but you know, for the stylized purposes of it, I kind of want it to be look like a kind of a stylized chain. We just got to be careful when we're in the pin phase, not to do too much. I should have made that a little shorter, but whatever. We're gonna. Just do it like that. This chain's definitely giving like a old school tattoo vibes. I think I want to do this like a red or maybe pink or something. Because black is like cool and all. I mean, like, I don't want to I've been trying to work away from like going too nutty with black when it comes to these drawings. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I like it. But I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that kind of looks fascinating. Because, like, that's one thing, like, I like black, and if I were to own a plethora of BDSM elements, they'd probably be black and gray, and I'd probably also do reds and pinks and stuff like that. Purple. Most of the elements that I possess are all handmade. And they work just as well. You gotta be Amish, right? Well, if the big one hits and you can't find any, dirty, nasty gear, you're gonna have to find somebody like me who's out there carving them out of tree stumps and shit. Let's just use this as pink. Man, this has trying to do that darker. The fingers will be different colored. Maybe red fingernails. They look good with the pink. Let me do green fingers. My problem is I need them. No, let's just go red. I want that green there. It's gonna look like Beetlejuice. Where's the red pen I just had? That's not red, that is orange. No, I'm wrong. Carmine red. Let's try carmine red, because then we can dye. This looks like a lighter red, like almost orange. So then it can be. Now here's where I know what you're thinking. Some of you are wondering why the two middle fingers are not pointed. Think about it a minute. Be all right. Don't think about it too hard, though. Indeed, Mel. Mel, did you save me any leftovers? I want some of them fucking cannolis. Didn't even invite me. Don't feel bad about that, I'm just kidding. Because I damn sure couldn't afford to go down to the damn end of the road. Let alone go out there, but I was there in spirit. My spirit was hungry as fuck looking at all that shit. They got eaten up. Damn it. Remember when you're doing marker stuff, don't go crazy. You don't have to go crazy. Like, you can't take back marker strokes, folks. You can't take back the strokes. Don't stroke it too hard. Male top stroke. It's so hard. Let me go back to the hand here. I need to. But was it a good event? Was it fun? Was it
surprise, motherfucker?
Was it beautiful? Did it change your life? Was it a tale as old as time or whatever? Was it everything you thought of when you dreamt about it in your youth? Was it everything you dreamt? Clavera, how you doing? I hope you are well. Thank you for joining us this Sunday to enjoy the religious iconography we're painting here. Really reminds me of that book of the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 3. King James Version. The theme was falling in love. Well, that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to use the watercolor. We're using watercolor. We're using watercolors, folks. Because this ain't the color. That marker is as close. I need to get the flesh tone markers from the store. Shit. Sorry. You're good. That is good to hear. Also, I appreciate you sharing that link. Everyone should take note that it is PAtober. You can get yourself some beautiful handcrafted art. You know, if you like what you see and being drawn right now, or you like what you saw yesterday being drawn, then as we slowly fill up the PAtober Dream Bar, not only at its pinnacle of fillage, that's a statement. Will I have a special stream of good laughter to be had there, but we'll also do some giveaways along the way, which will give back to those who have helped celebrate this most glorious of days. You'll be glad to know that none of the money that given to the PAtober Dream Bar will go to hookers and or blow. I do not like either one of those things. Or I mean, I like hookers. I mean, sex work is work, folks. I mean, do what you got to do, but I mean, I'm not partaking in it. You know. Yeah. At the pinnacle of village, I will be making a complete ass of myself in a sexy outfit. Because it's Halloween, right? I get sexy. I'm cleaning 2 of those out because we cannot make dick colors happen. They're all janky. Let's get a little water in here first. We're going to preemptively soak it. We're going to get a little of that color, that yellowish color, right? Then we're going to take and we're going to dip, and we're going to find the red, which, as you can tell, we have blasted. I'm going to get a little bit more pink. I feel like we lean into the pink more. But the trick of making a nice Caucasian flesh tone is Just a smidge of yellow. Don't get too much yellow because you'll give them the jaundice. Make them jaundiced or whatever the fuck they call it. Make sure to go in here with water and drag that color around because, you know, you don't want to. It's better to take baby steps towards the end goal. And Kay, what's up? I can see it. You guys probably can't see the color, but it is so minuscule. I'm taking matters into my own hands because the picture here has got some very gnarly shadowing. And much as I'd like to adhere to the reference, I'm not going to. I just used it for the shape of the hands. Doing some dots here. Don't be afraid to take a completely dry brush and tap on it to suck up some of that paint before it has an opportunity to adhere. We went a little dark there. So I'm going to have to be real careful with how I apply that. Only to the most juicy dark areas. And looking up at the hand a little bit. To be fair, this hand has shot its wad, so to speak. I don't need to go get any more complex. To be fair, not complex, but I didn't need to adhere to the reference because I just used it for shapes. But I keep looking up as if it's going to show me something new. It's not. Clovera, what'd you do today? Feel free to answer that. You don't have to. Everyone else can answer that question too. I mean, it's open to discussion. I like to know what y'all's did too. So I didn't do shit. Most of my activities happening right now. I feel like I don't want to do that. I was going to say we can make the purple like a darker purple and do this in the background, so that way we don't make the black do a ton of heavy lifting. We can come in and line it, and we can add some black lines in here, but this is the shadow, you know, because it'll help. I remember when I was in high school, my art teacher, he challenged us all, especially myself, because I like to do a lot of cartoony stuff at the time, to do artwork with zero black. Like if there were a desire for like the darkest dark, it is basically whatever color you feel is the darkest. Like you could use like a purple or something. And I remember, and it was one of the first pieces of art I ever sold. I sold it at a fair. It was a picture of Jack Nicholson that I did all in greens. The tippiest top of the green was like a lime, almost a yellow green, which was the highlights. I didn't use any white. And the darkest was like a real deep green. And I remember the lady walking, because like it was a small town event and all, and she walked for like I seen her, you know, because I was looking at everybody that was walking around, and they walked up and they made a complete beeline to me. And they asked me how much for it. I think I sold it for $40. It was a big painting too. But at the time I thought I was doing big. Get paid for the day's table renting. But a lot of people came by, and I didn't even have a lot to offer at the time, but I did it. I need to have a renaissance of young Patrick. And by renaissance, I mean the stupidity to just, I'm going to take $40 and sit here with one fucking item like an half-wit, you know? Because I have way more to offer now, whether they like it or not. You know, as you get older, you worry about too much shit. I need to worry about less shit. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Start worrying about less shit. Let them tote me the fuck off, you know? Took a bath. Now making enchiladas. Lucky. I ate some lentils, some taters. And Brandon, how are you doing? There's an event happening on the 15th. To be fair, it's going to be more of like a Halloween event. And there's going to be children and shit there. So I can't really display anything like too outrageous. Man, there was an event coming that would have been happening like I think last month or whatever, but they canceled it and refunded my money. It was an erotic art show and festival where there was going to be like fire breathers and fucking jugglers and shit. And I was like, fuck, because my art would have sold there. You know, because it would have been very kink friendly and people would have been available there, and then some of my shit is very, it'll work, you know, it'll work. It would have worked there. But alas, it did not happen. Maybe one day. I'm going to use purple here, I think, just to hit these high points. So I'm going to come back with a pencil, or a pen, I mean. Remember, folks, got art for sale. Buy you a mess. Now it's time to get it. Remember, folks, October leads to November, which leads to Christmas. So you can go ahead and buy some art for yourself, for others. Get it while it's good and hot. Especially if you're gonna be one of those cool cats that buy from creators to help with Christmas. Now's time. Because not only are you going to be helping for other people's Christmas, the creators' Christmas, you're going to be getting ahead of the game, believe me. Especially if you want some kind of commission work. Holy fucking moly, that's... You need to already had that put in. Because you want it there in your closet ready to be wrapped, as opposed to the other way around, which is praying to God it gets there on time. Think about that, kids. I think I'm going to use my pen, my brush pen. We use the other pen. My phone is lit up like 8 times. What the fuck is on this thing? What happened here? Nothing. Was nothing. Where's the white? I think we may actually paint some of the white on with the gouache. Let's go ahead and I don't know if I'll do the line work around the knuckles with man, drawing hands sucks ass, don't it? I don't think I've ever had too much fun drawing a hand. And I don't know why. You'd think I have it. I use them. I see them constantly. Like, they're the only thing I really see on me. Like, on a regular basis, you know? See your hands constantly. And yet here I am, not knowing how to draw a hand. I guess it's because they're so, like, different. Maybe it's because we see the hands so frequently that we worry more heavily about. You can see when you fuck up, you know. I guess, who knows? Maybe I'm overthinking it. That's probably the case, to be honest. What you got to do is just do everything abstract and just make sticks for fingers, and that's the way out of it. And to be fair, if you want to argue like the value of art, you know, it's just as valuable as long as you're expressing yourself. You're creating something that people like to visually look at. It's like with abstract art, some people want to argue that it's not worth a shit, and I'll agree, some abstract is more of a piss take than some, but like there are abstract arts out there that are really fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying, kids? Y'all been in this goddamn art class forever. Y'all ain't learned nothing yet. I remember having a fucking history teacher who was also a coach. And I don't know, did they just give every coach like a teaching job? It's kind of weird, because it wasn't like they were doing like a substitute teacher gig. They were fucking teaching the class. They just let anyone teach a fucking class? Can anyone become a teacher? I mean, I know anyone can technically if you pass the shit, but like, I don't understand. Like, is it that easy? Because like, it was impressive how shitty they were. And then when they would get angry, they would curse like a fucking sailor, and then they would then apologize and tell us how much they loved us. It was fascinating. I'm not kidding. It's like they'd curse like fuck, get angry because some of the, you know, rambunctious lot, not even me, you know, like, but some of the other, like, you know, real fuckos would act a fool, and he would get fucking insane and throw shit, not at them, but like at the fucking wall, and smash and stuff, and then curse, and then he would leave, you know. I mean, I understand he probably had shit going on because he's a big, stupid, chuckle-headed looking fucker, so I'm sure he had, you know, wasn't married to the love of his fucking life or anything. Probably right about that time, age-wise, he was going through that transitionary phase when you realize you may have married wrong, or they probably are going through that phase where, like, maybe I shouldn't have married this fat, stupid bastard, and then it becomes his problem. Because he's like, what do you mean you don't love me? I'll take you out, bought you pizza. I ain't found you clip once in my fucking life. I can't carry on a conversation for jack shit. And all I can do is bitch about shit and make you do all the work. What you mean you don't love me, baby? I've been a good husband. That was Wild Hobbs. Wild Hobbs. The badass. Wild Hobbs is a good dude. I ain't chatted with him in a while, but Wild Hobbs is the kind of person, if I reached out and needed help, I knew he could help me. Known him for a long time. But yeah, you know. Teachers, weird teachers, they just let anybody fucking teach. I mean, there were some that were good. There were some that bridged the gap that were good teachers, but they also liked sports, so they taught sports. You know, they taught basketball and things like that. That was cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But often, so fucking often, did these teachers just absolutely fucking tragic stupid. Like in ways that, like, looking back on it, like at the time I didn't know, you know. He is still on Twitch. He is most certainly still on Twitch. He still streams the shit out of Hearthstone. And he has a YouTube channel. Listen, I can't praise Wild Hobbs more. He's a good dude. He's worth a watch for sure. If you like Hearthstone, if you like I don't know if he's doing World of Warcraft anymore. I think he gave up on that, as did many people. He may not have. You know what? He may not have. He probably got in on the alpha and stuff of Dragon Piss or whatever they call it. So it's very possible that they're creating content for that. And he's been in the game a while, and he's really good. And he's a nice person. There's a lot of people that out in the streets ain't worth a goddamn. You know, but yet people be watching the shit out of him. Wild Hobbs is a good dude. He got a family. He's a nice dude. And he does stuff he loves. And that's fucking commendable. Especially in this fucking day and age. It's tough. Everybody fighting tooth and nail trying to survive. Because we are on the cusp of the downfall of civilization. Don't get me talking about conspiracy. It's Bigfoot's fault. God damn it, him and that flat earth. Like, so I still have that hat. I only wear it really on my Fansly now. Clavera. I'm kidding, I do not wear it. I've not worn it there yet. Be fair, I've not worn anything there yet. In due time. Let society collapse a bit more. I'm kidding. Gotta get while the getting's good. But I still have that hat. I don't know exactly where it's at. It's in the other room somewhere in a box. All right, let's figure out what we want to do here. We can come back to these. Actually, let's thicken that line up on the bottom here. Damn, that line ain't even done. Okay. All right, now we're going to take, and I'm going to try to figure out how I want this. So we'll use this marker, I think. That is the wrong end. Wrong end. Should erase some of these knuckle lines here when I was just throwing them around like nothing in the world here. I can't erase them anymore, so that's just going to keep the beauty of the wild and free artwork. Remember, folks, these arts can be given away when we trigger the juicy giveaways via filling up the PAtober Dream Bar. Brought to you by, goddamn it, please, I don't want to fucking lose power. It's a wonderful company. I've experienced working with them for months. I may actually go in here and I'm doing the lines here. I feel like it's important to. As much as I like that, I think I will use up some of this. I'm gonna turn my head here so I can see what I'm looking at here. Get a little shading going. Just kind of tapping a little bit to do some, like, you know, you can see a little bit of a, then we'll go back in here, but I think I'm going to do some kind of like color on the two fingers in the middle. Damn it. Yeah, I picked up some. Don't want to get too quiet in here, folks. Bring up a topic. See, that's a scary thought. So I just read up to what Earl said about them being special ed teachers. Like, I don't know if they would be, because that's the thing. I will say that, like, a lot of they did not give any special education to the kids that got special ed in my school. I remember it. It was glorified, let's watch movies and you keep quiet so that way you don't bother other people. And it's sad to know that they could know things if only they would have been taught in a way that they could have, like, because even myself included, like, I was rambunctious and hyperactive and kind of like in my own head and shit like that. So even myself would be considered deserving of a better way of teaching, which, you know, I guess I wasn't so off the end there that it wouldn't, you know, like, it was okay for me to be there because I could still do it, manage. I did fine all in school. The only time I'd really got in shitty situations was in high school when, you know, I developed my own budding personality and my condemning of any form of very complex mathematics because it's not necessary. And I still, even in my most powerful, transcendent, wise self, don't think it's necessary. I don't think, you know, you should need to be taught dumb shit like that until you know that, you know, that's something that needs to be taught to you. So that way, you know, you can focus on things that are going to benefit you. Yeah. Because we live in a world that we don't need everyone to know how to do complex mathematical bullshit. If you know, like, have a rejection to it, then fucking don't teach the shit to them. Because could you just imagine for a moment that they saw my desire for art And there was a special class that would cater to teaching me how to do screen printing or graphic design layouts or fucking anything. Literally anything that revolved around art. Because every goddamn human being has to wear clothes. Every goddamn human being partakes in signage and things. Like, it's something. These are things that, art is. They tell you can be anything in school, and they don't give a fuck. They don't really believe it, because if they really believed it, they would do something to grow, even like a vocational school. Like, I don't think vocational school should be a thing. You should just teach, unless it's like a complex, like, like mechanic and like shit like that. Yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. But there should be vocational, things that you do. Like I know a lot of people picked art in school as an elective to just burn a fucking, burn a class and get it out of the fucking way because they didn't want to do wood shop or something. But I enjoyed both of those things. I did wood shop and that. I liked being creative. They could have taught me more about being creative instead of freaking me the fuck out for, because there's no, like, it'd be different if it was like long division or something that was necessary, to put you in the hot seat and make you do it. But this is not one of them. I can't even tell you how many I've not even used. I barely use geometry. And the normal human that don't build or create anything sure don't. It's just dumb. It's wasteful of your fucking time, and I think they know it. Because if you, I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but if you waste a child's youth in not teaching them anything of value, then their adulthood will be cast into the fucking void as well. Because they'll have to both figure out how to pay unbelievable rent prices and car notes and shit like that, while also trying to weasel in a goddamn class to learn something they could have learned easily, when it was afforded, given to them, or all the time they had. But you want to do that because that would make it easy for you to do something you loved, as opposed to do something like work for a corporate entity. I made the Ultra Mega Shelf. I made the Ultra Mega Shelf. I remember its name, and I used to still have its blueprints somewhere. They kept them in wood shop because I drew them. I made a little shelf with 2 doors and 2 fold-up things and everything. I used to have the Ultra Mega Shelf, but I think I tore it down to use the pieces on something else. It was harvested. I had someone offer to buy it from me. Also made a dildo, but that was a joke because it wasn't actually the size of a dildo. It was basically like this shape, but like made of wood. No one's going to use that. But I made it as a gag and gave it to my friend, and she laughed her ass off. I remember, like, the first thing they said when I gave it to them was like, I won't be able to use that. It's made of wood. It's like, oh, well, thanks. I'm glad. I'm glad you at least put some thought into could you use it. But yeah, I made it. That's what I called it, the Ultra Mega Shelf. It was fun working in there. The only part I didn't like was they made us learn like FFA dog shit, like the Future Farmers of America. They wanted us to learn the mottos and shit. We wasn't even a farming class, but they thought it was necessary to learn those creeds and like the oath and all that. I think he just made us learn that shit because he didn't want to teach us wood shop immediately. He wanted us to all waste weeks of our time because like we couldn't go into the shop until we had learned that. Like, this isn't shop safety. Although we did have to do the shop safety stuff, but that's easy. You know, just don't chop your goddamn hand off. As you can tell, I got both my hands. But yeah, woodshop was cool. The guy was really redneck though and shit like that. Like, of course, at the time I never gave a shit, you know, about what people thought and their personal beliefs, and you don't start questioning someone's intellect until you start to gain some yourself, and then you're like, I mean, not from a point of like, you know, arrogance, but from a point of like, it's hard for me to take in consideration anything you say because you feel this way about this thing. So it's obvious you're coming from a position of stupidity. At bare minimum, ignorance. Let me go get some coffee. I'll be right back. Hold on, everyone. I'm coming back. Hold on. I'm gonna use the restroom too while I'm up. I had to close the door though because the mic's still hot. You can hear me peeing. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna have 1,000 fucking followers on Twitter just from those like fake lady accounts trying to scam your ass. I mean, it's fine though, because I guess that'll, if somebody looks at how many followers you got, they're like, oh fuck, he's got 600,000 followers. It's a damn shame that over 3/4 of them are just fake fucking accounts trying to con me. Awesome. Pink. Rainbow colors. Don't you hate that, Clavera? Don't you hate it? Dang. We gotta do this with the marker. What are the best colors? I need a silver marker. We have silver markers. It is now time to use them. Apologies. I drank that coffee. I had some like lukewarm coffee and I had a big old sip of it and it kind of set wrong in my craw. My craw. Y'all ain't from the South. Y'all may not know what the hell that means. Well, we'll find what we want here in a couple hours. Red. I don't want to know if I want to do red because I feel like red denotes blood. And what we're trying to convey is probably not blue, because it's a bit dirty, what we're trying to convey, but we want to do it in a way that's not blood, because it's in blue, I guess. Blue and pink and pink and blue. Pink and blue, yeah. We can do yellow, but then, well, we're gonna have to do yellow and green, I guess, to like a rainbow color. We'll keep red out on the back burner, because we don't want to use red because it look maybe like blood. And I'm just trying to moisten the two middle fingers, if everyone's following me, because, you know, everyone's on the same vile mindset that I'm going for here. Gold. I forgot I had a silver one of these markers. We can try that marker. I've not tried it yet. I've always used the chrome one, and it actually does, you know, it's pretty good. Kay, you still with us? I always like to bother Kay. It's important. Kay's been sick. She sat a little too long on the toilet at a Denny's, and she reaped the fucking benefits, folks. Listen, don't put your cheeks down on a Denny's toilet. That's the first rule. I mean, I thought Kay knew that, though. I thought surely Kay was in the know when it come to anything like that. But, you know, sometimes you gotta have a recap. It's a bummer, but it's something to remember. Write that down, folks. I hope y'all writing that down, because you want to learn from others' mistakes, not your own. I mean, yeah, you're gonna learn from your mistakes, and I would suggest you do wild and crazy shit and jump and say yes to things and do some stuff to a degree, but you know, because you're gonna learn from your own mistake. It's better, but it's also good to take in mistakes that others make, because you never can tell. It's better to something blah blah, put something profound in there. Give me a tip, please. Exactly. Something blah blah bullshit. This is the most profound stream I've ever watched in my life. Please, thank you. It always warms my heart when I get messages like that. I've actually received some good messages from nice people. I was at Dega and used a bush instead of the tortoise. No. Well, I ain't never heard that called that, but I know why, and it was hilarious. Thank you for that. The tortoise. Woo! I got a sonic screwdriver over in that drawer somewhere. Yeah, I wouldn't want to cook myself in one of them fart saunas. I went to Talladega at the campgrounds a couple of times, and just with friends, because I have no intention to enjoy NASCAR. I don't understand how people do it. They don't shoot guns at the window. You know, the only time it's enjoyable is when it's at the folly of someone smashing into the fucking wall and exploding into pieces, you know. I just don't get it. Maybe we could use this shit. I just ain't never got it. Football I could get. I can watch football. I don't really care. But if somebody watching football, I can sit down and watch football with them. I know the rules. Hell, I played, you know, I played NFL Blitz growing up. I know that you can power bomb people after the snap's over. Clothesline fools. First time at Dago. Well, will it be ye last time? Was it such a good time seeing all that, they still, sexually assaulting ladies and stuff? When I went, I was like, holy moly. Do not take a lady that is not happy with her tits out. Because you'll damn near be in a fist fight every 5 seconds. Because people were dumb and stupid. Well, I will say this: at the actual event, they don't let you get too fucking buck wild. But let me tell you something: don't go to that campground in the evening time. Like, they let it fucking go crazy there, and it's uncalled for. Like, it's some shit that I ain't never seen before. I've seen Panama. I've been to Panama City. Well, damn, I didn't want that to be blue there. We're just going to wipe that up. I need to actually wipe that. That's white there, folks. You are wondering what color that was under there. It's fucking incredibly bullshit. Damn, you'd know I'd have some blue in the damn red. I got to get another little red. The good thing about these, you can pull them out and buy replacements. If it weren't so glued in there, would piss. Let's just do this. Let's just do this shit. There's a little booger right on the end of that. Wish I had a smaller blue here, but there was Fat Boy Blue's about all we got. There ain't any damn paint coming out of it. It ain't. The pigment's not dark enough. I don't feel like. It's looking pretty good. Guess got to know when to stop. Gotta be some more blue on that finger. All right. How y'all doing? That is whatever. Because this about I wish that pinky was a little longer, but hell, who cares? This is people with little pinkies. Actually, to be fair, I think these lines probably could have been pushed back a little bit further because, like, I say that, but never mind. I just think that finger may have been a little bit better. I can't fix that. It's too late now. We done did it. I didn't put the lid on that. But no, it's fine. It's a very expensive marker. Smells nice. That's not what I needed to do. Didn't think, at least. That's pretty good. That's nice. This is to be a little thick. I think it's too thin. We're just having fun here, folks. That's pretty good. For an Inktober, like, we're not, you know. Where the hell my pencil is? There it is. I'm going to get this tip here. There's some pencil markings that we did not want to find their way. You know, that isn't that far. This is the tip, and you know, probably could have come up about a 1/4 inch, but to be fair, I think that's not enough to, like, all fingers are different, and this particular person has a smaller pinky. So stop being picky. Stream. Come on. Stop it. Get some help. I just want to do some fun here with this ink while we got it. Do some line work here after we get these dried a little bit. That's delicious. It's actually not that delicious. It's cheap, but we're doing it. Let this sit here for a minute. I actually want them to be dark, probably. Maybe not. I'm actually going to have to go in. I was going to tap it. It's not going to be that good to tap it. I'm going to have to let this dry, and then I can go in and I'll show you a trick. Get ready, kids. Old Patty's going to show you a trick. But first, my favorite trick. This is my favorite trick because it's the best and it benefits us all. You click that link and you just max out a credit card in there and just shove it all over here to the PAtober Dream Bar. Gets it every time, folks. That's what all the cool cats are doing. Do not max out a credit card. That was a joke. Unless it's someone else's. Actually, that's credit card fraud. Don't listen to me. That was a joke as well. I don't want to be like when you see them streamer things where a kid like has his mother's thing linked to the account, and then he gives like $500 to a streamer, and then he's like, "Oh my God, please give me the money back! I didn't mean to." Stupid fucking kids. See the trick I'm doing? It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm using a dry brush, or decently dry brush, to slop up the extra water there. Because if you pat this with this, especially with this particular paper towel I've had laying here, I've been using on art for like 100 fucking years, it will probably make a weird mess. And if that's what you're looking for, go for it. But I'd like these little purple splatters to be in line. And I'm impatient. Just want to make sure to soak up all of them. Plus it adds a nice little, like you see this one, a special dry ring around it. It looks so good. Yeah, I think we're, apart from a few of these, I kind of want some of these. I like a few, that's crazy, but like a few lines like this that look tricks of the trick of the trade here. You can go in and add the weird line work. If that doesn't, if you find something you find it's a little too smooth. To be fair though, I mean it was look good before that, and I just wanted to add a few little lines here to do some good. It looks really nice. I am very pleased with what I'm looking at. Maybe I should take some white though. I feel like now we need some white on these paint colors to add some highlights to the inks that are obviously drooling down. So let's do that, shall we? Because we ain't done here. We finished a good early one the other day, yesterday, and to be fair, we want to we're not looking to pad the time, but it's nice to work on artwork, have something to work on. And I will say that it is important to know when to stop Because you can do too much sometimes. But I did not want to let this paint layer here go without being highlighted a bit. Draw your attention into it, because it is like a we're gonna put some lines though. I'm just working on things while we're waiting for the put some lines here. I think we may do lines this direction, I feel like, because like we got this happening. Let's do that. I'm no pure, artsy fartsy like lines of, draw the eye line to certain places, but I mean it does work in certain scenarios. So I think we'll do it with this one. A bigger, more organized studio would probably make me just cum myself out of existence. I would be so aroused by the thought of that. I would just stop existing. Art wouldn't be a thing anymore. I'd just be like, ah. Maybe one day I'll know that pleasure. I will know that pleasure. Mark my words. Do it. Mark them now. Do it. Do it. Do it. Palpatine over here. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Goddamn, that's good. Oh man, it is a burden to be this good at art and to be to not be widely known as one of the greatest artists who ever lived, It's truly a unbelievable cross that I have to bear. I love the way I only did there's a line here, but I barely see it. I'm going to actually redraw that, because now I'll look at it. It was not good. Let me tell you something. These pens right here, Baldwin Dollar Store. Who says you can't do art? But fucked up thing. I actually want to leave some of that broke. That line broken. Beautiful. Damn it. Oops. Sorry, kids. I mean to hurt your ears. Yeah. So there you go. And I think I'll put my Johnny Hancock-a-roni here. Let's put it right here in the corner. I need to get this tatted on me. I need to get that tatted on me, kids. Two. Oh, this one's called Worship. 2022. The second one. Got a little spit on there for y'all. So that's so far what we got. And goddamn, the hits keep coming. Shit. I'm going to have to dial it back. Y'all motherfuckers is going to think that I can't do no wrong. And when I fuck up, y'all going to be like, God, how the mighty have fallen. I gotta, regulate the expectations around here. Y'all gonna, the bar's too fucking high. I can't see it anymore. Because it's right under me. I'm straddling that bitch riding like a goddamn witch. Right into the sky. I can't help it. Just too damn good.